Let's since 12 Roots brought it up, let's do a quick pivot to some news because this was actually kind of fucking interesting. Did you see this?
Oh, whoa.
Dude,
Makes sense.
out of nowhere,
I knew it.
out
Damn
of
it. I fucking
nowhere.
knew it.
Well, why didn't you tell? Um
Saying
no,
it for years.
but like out of nowhere. So I found out about the breakup before I found out about the possible rape allegations
Wait,
and
what does
shit.
that mean? Wait, what
Let me,
does that mean? Following possible rape
I'm
accusations.
explaining it, Patrick.
Oh, fuck your fucking. I'm gonna smoke more weed. Allegedly.
um, allegedly. Yeah, no, this is YouTube. Weed, don't smoke weed. It doesn't rule when you do that.
No, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read my
yeah.
Bible.
Before I found out about the possible rape allegations, I literally just saw, dude. This tweet is insane. Do they have? Yeah. So this is just a copy and paste from it, but the tweet is literally AntiFlag has disbanded. The Patreon has been switched into a mode where it will no longer charge the monthly feed. It will begin to process refunds to all patrons on the coming weeks. Once all refunds are processed, the Patreon will also be removed. So
What is the Patreon?
randomly that tweet just, they're in the middle of a fucking tour right now. So that tweet just comes out and everyone's just like, what the fucking shit is going on? And then it gets brought up that apparently there's a podcast out. It's called, I believe it's called Enough, and it is about it's I forget if it's central to like the music scene, but it's basically girls telling their like sexual assault stories and stuff like that, to kind of like bring light to it and all that kind of stuff. And apparently on the newest episode, there was a girl telling a story. They didn't specify the band. They didn't specify the band or anything, but they were basically like a prominent political band. That episode comes out, and then the next day, AntiFlag is like, we're not a band anymore. Okay, bye. We're gonna jump off this tour. Patreon's done."
The old you can't fire me, I quit.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We're not like, we can't really do a lot of detective work like we did with fucking Dance Gavin Dance, because there's not a whole lot. There's a podcast, and then AntiFlag just went away.
Yeah, this is kind of this feels like the shortest episode of SVU ever. I don't even think we would get to Ice-T.
No, yeah, we would not have Ice-T convincing a dude that he's gay. We would not have. What?
Why you been writing all these songs about politics when you've been raping girls?
You all about freedom? Well, there's no freedom from you, motherfucker.
I just wanted to do the list. Why you been writing these songs about?
Yeah, you had a way better Ice-T. I just threw Ice-T into like a fucking 70s blaxploitation movie.
Hey y'all, I'm a police officer.
Hey, you jive turkey, put down that guitar and stop raping.
Look at my big ass wife.
Hey, AntiFlag, look at my wife's big ass tits.
Yeah. You better not rip my wife's butt.
Oh no, don't look at her tits. That'll get you riled up. You'll write a song about communism and how it's good, you fucking goofy motherfucker.
Chung chung. Dick Wolf.
Chung chung.
Created by Dick Wolf.
AntiFlag all got arrested. Yeah, so, but all jokes aside, there is no hard evidence on it right now. It's just the podcast came out, and then the next day, the most lacking of context tweet and band disbandment fucking ever. So there's no proof, but it feels a little fishy.
This is a very interesting thing with me, like, and it kind of it reminds me of O.J. Simpson, Andrew.
You're saying they're all completely innocent? Okay. You're about to compare it to OJ. You're about to say they didn't do it clearly.
There's a weird thing with OJ. They weren't allowed to involve it in the trial, but if you remember from at least like retellings, I don't know if I remember this necessarily live or if it was just how many times they replayed it. But when she was discovered killed, and then they were like, I feel like when they're like, oh, we're just gonna ask him because you live near here and and you're married, you know, that's your ex-wife and everything like that. Maybe we should ask you. And he goes, oh, whoa, and runs, grabs a gun, and is crying and threatening suicide in the back of the Bronco as it's driving away because he's, you know what I mean? And
Yeah. No, that was the
and
that
that was
was
not allowed to be brought up in the trial. And I go like, I feel like that's important. Important to bring up that right after this podcast comes out, that Anti-Flag's like, hey, we gotta go, bye. And then this is essentially kind of, and this is just my assumption, this is my opinion, but this feels like a gun to the back, to your own head, in the back of a Bronco driving down the highway in a low speed chase. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of feels like a little bit of an omission. So
yeah, it doesn't I like to keep it a buck. There's like we said, there's no actual like proof or hard evidence, but it don't feel right. It don't feel good.
This doesn't make me feel more confident in their innocence, or his innocence, let me say.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I can say. I don't know any of the facts. I don't know. I haven't even heard the accusations necessarily, but you gotta die for your government, you know, and all that shit.
You gotta die. And then you also have to write bass parts that have no business being on punk songs.
I feel like this was another. I mean, this would have been a fun comparison episode to do until all of these accusations, because now we have a different story to talk about, Anti-Flag. But I almost wanted to do another verses with including Anti-Flag.
Yeah.
But I guess now we can't, because they're hateful sex pigs that enslave women in human trafficking. No, allegedly.
Now we have to fight cancel culture and do Anti-Flag episodes every single week.
Dude, this is like not, this isn't the closest thing to Cosby and Punk, is it?
No. Oh God, no.
Because no, because this is a band. This is a band that is like, dude, so a funny story about Anti-Flag. I saw them once at a Warped Tour.
And you were in the back while they were assaulting women, and you said, "A-okay with me, Justin."
I was like, "What? I gotta go."
You're like,
"Don't do anything." Anti who? I'm gonna go check out Guttermouth. Bye. No,
you were standing there. You're like, this reminds me of your song, "The Press Corps," because I don't want to talk about it. Sorry, I was struggling to remember the lyrics because I was like, I also have an Anti-Flag reference to this.
This was the year, or this was the exact moment I think I finally was like, I don't even give a shit that I do like some of their songs. I'm fucking done with this band. I was at a Warped Tour and I was like, all right, Anti-Flag's playing. Like, they're gonna play the hits. It's Warped Tour. I'm gonna just check them out for a little bit. And I was hanging out in the crowd, and they're kind of, you know how they just kind of play like a solid bass tone, and like the drums are going, is like, we just want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us for all these years. And like, okay, yeah, like, cool. And then they're like, and we just want you to know that. And then they just start going. He just starts going into this whole long spiel of like, you don't have to act like this, and you don't have to do that, and if the government is telling you how to live your life, and you can tell them to fuck off, and all, and dude, no lie, it was like a fucking 5-minute thing. Dude, you get,
if the government is telling you don't hold down that girl when she says no, you tell them, don't oppress me, government.
And this is where I'm like, dude, you could not be preaching to more of the crowd, of your own crowd. Like, you're preaching to the choir here, and not to mention, like, also tries to stamp it with a, we, just so you know, we're not here for any fucking racist shit or sexist shit, dude. Or if you're out here assaulting women, and it's like, oh man,
bro, when I went to go see the Interrupters, they did the same shit. They were like,
the hits, dude.
They were like, we're putting up with no racism, sexism, transphobia, and if you see that shit, fucking stop it. And you're like,
who's gonna do that here?
I think we'll be fine at at the Interrupters show. I think we'll be fine.
There's not a ton of bigots here. and not only that, but also, dude, You
this
have a
isn't the
30-minute set. Let's go here. We're on a limit.
And it's not the fucking. Here's the thing that annoys me with that shit, where it's like, guys, this isn't like the fucking '80s hardcore scene where
Right.
you
Yeah.
where you literally have like roaming Nazi gangs.
Right.
Like,
We're our hardest edge dudes out there. We're the hardest edge dudes, and we're like,
Yeah.
we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, you literally just have to worry about us saying gay or retarded too much.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
we
biggest
won't say
thing.
it around you, okay?
We'll be cool. It'll hurt. It'll be the hardest thing I've done that day.
Because you're gonna do a lot of gay retarded shit. And I'm not going to be able to tell you how stupid it is.
I won't be able to express myself.
But dude, this feels like that's why I brought up the Cosby and like, because of the whole like, oh, so you're just gonna preach, you're just gonna be like, you don't do that, you better be, you're bad, you bad, and then it's like, what? Whoa, I'm sorry. Whoops. I guess I made a oopsie whoopsie.
Whoopsie. I guess I sexually assaulted a girl.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's a pretty big allegation. And then you hauling ass doesn't really help your case, in my opinion.
Yeah. For the sake of fairness, he don't got. It's only one accusation. It ain't Cosby numbers.
It's not Cosby numbers, correct.
But yeah, no, like I said, we don't have any hard evidence, but I get the point you're making where it's like, because that's like a common theme of these people. You know, it's do not protest or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and then they end up being the thing they're railing against. So it's
like,
definitely
exactly.
It's definitely happened before, yeah.
Like he probably like also I you know what, I want to start a hashtag. Let's find out his fucking voting record, dude. I want to find out how this motherfucking vote when he ended up in other tax brackets over the years. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're just like, well, you know, I mean, like clean air is great and everything, but I got a Lexus, you know?
I'd be shocked if it was anything but Democrat the whole time. He probably was voting Democrat, but sitting there being like, please, I want cut my taxes, please, Republican, cut my taxes.
Well, dude, Trump being elected, I'm sorry, that helped your bank account, bro. Like you got a whole new album out of that if you want.
Dude, that's the funniest part. That's the funniest part about rappers who make it big. When they make it because you're poor on the first album. You have no money on the first album that gets big. The second album, you have money, but you're not like rich. And then by the third album, if you're still fucking hitting it, that's when you're fucking rich. And that's when you start getting, that's when you start making money and you just look at the numbers and you're like, they took half of my money in taxes, and by the third album, because that's what happens. That's what people don't realize. Like, don't get me wrong, you're going home with 400, 500K, but they took the same amount away from you, and that's when you start hearing rapper J. Cole did it. I think Kendrick did it. I want to say A$AP Rocky did. I can't remember that one for sure, but you hear a lot of rappers that got big, and around their third album, they're always like, hey, what's up? Taxes are kind of high, don't you think, guys?
Yeah, guys. I mean, have you seen the estate rates over here? I mean, that's hey. I'm gonna have to move my business to Palm Beach. Like, it's like one of those, like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you mean.